from a good number of people, we can just start the meeting. And if we are waiting for our speakers to join us, within a couple of minutes, they're going to be here, so we're going to start. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome, Dr. Ademola. Now, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Ademola, Mr. Roy, you're welcome, sir.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Please, I'm there. We are just trying to wait for some couple of minutes for other people to join. Then we are going to start officially, inshallah. We are sorry for waiting. So while waiting, I think we can be doing the recap of yesterday's session, which is the day one for the boot camp. So once again, I read from. So once again, okay, thank you for that. So once again, I welcome everyone of us to today's session, which is the day two. I started with the special greeting by greeting everyone of us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. So we're going to start with the recap of today's activity. Yesterday we have two sessions, two speakers. We're able to do justice to the topic presented for them yesterday. We pray so much Allah to continue to increase them in knowledge. As well as today, we also have one of the speakers yesterday. We also be with us, and he's going to be speaking another a special topic today. So yesterday we have the first speaker, which is Dr. Ademola Toyi. He explained about the ethics of research writing, where you mentioned a lot of things like the fundamental, what are the principles of ethical research writing. We talked about honest concepts, like we should be honest in anything we are doing, and also we should try the progression, the objectivity, the integrity, and the last we should be very careful in carry out our research. We also talked about plagiarism and the types, different types of plagiarism in terms of academic writing, such as the direct plagiarism, which is common nowadays. People leak some information from one document without referencing, without rewriting. So we also talked about the self-plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, and accidental plagiarism. We also continue by talking about the authorship ethics and a lot of things like that. So we have the second speaker in person of Dr. Abdul Wahid Musa. He talks about the optimizing artificial intelligence for research projects. Alhamdulillah, Doctor was able to discuss, he elucidate more about many things concerning the topics presented for him. He talked about the evolution of AI in technology, the AI in literature review. He made mention a lot of things. Talked about the invention of calculators in the mathematical science, and also he tried to link down to nowadays ChatGPT and other things like that. So inshallah today we will be continue the boot camp for the day two. We have two speakers today, Dr. Ademola Adeniji and the other one, brother, which is our respected brother, Dr. Rahim. So today before we proceed, I don't know if you can hear me clearly. So I would like each and every one of us to make use of the chat box. If you can just drop one or two things you learned from yesterday's session, maybe like just a few like a one sentence, like before I doing, like I was able to look to, you understand? Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
Since I don't know if you can make use of the chat box, just to like type one or two things, the few things you learned yesterday, not in detail, like just so before we proceed with today's session. Our speakers, they are very much ready. So an experiment is going to make it more easier and beneficial and for us. Maybe I'm going to start from my hand.
You mean you want us to speak, right?
What do you say? Are you talking to me? Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Oh, mashallah, mashallah. Okay, thanks, thanks. Do you have to do that before you? Okay, so while we are trying to drop what we learned from yesterday's session. So, inshallah, we are going to start today's program properly. So, as I said earlier, so today's program is the second day of the bootcamp. Uh, is going to start by the first speaker in person of Dr. Ademola Toyi. So today we'll be discussing about the importance of referencing and referencing skills. Dr. Ademola Toyi will be the one to handle this session. So I will not be doing another introduction because I already read his biography yesterday. But to just because we have more time, so I'm not going to do that again. And for those that are just joining us today, that they are unable to join us yesterday, uh, maybe I'm going to look for the link to the YouTube page. You can also access the discussion, the session, yesterday's session, via the YouTube page without missing any bit from what our speaker said today. So I'm going to look for the link to the YouTube and drop in the chat box. So you can go to our YouTube page and read more and learn more from what our speaker said. So I'm using this medium to invite Dr. Toyi. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And sir, please you have 45 minutes for this session.
Now, can you hear me, please?
Yes, very well, sir.
Okay. So I'm trying to share my screen. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, today is another day. We thank Allah for letting us to see the brightness of today, and all glory and adoration belongs to Almighty Allah. So, without further ado, I have 45 minutes, and today I will be speaking about the importance of referencing and also referencing tools. So today's session will be divided into like two parts. The first part, I will quickly try to explain some of the theoretical background about the topic, and the last part will be like a practical session in which some of us that doesn't really know about all these software, because it will not be surprising when you go to some schools and you still see people
Just on
typing their references with their hand, like almost it will basically feel as if they are doing a work, and of which it is not really a work. So today is about how we are going to manage our referencing system. So majorly, what is referencing? So it is typically a practice of acknowledging the sources of information and ideas that you have used in your work. So, like we already mentioned yesterday, and even the second speaker, for you to have an idea, it means you must have done a proper literature review. And for you to have this idea, it doesn't mean you are the first person to know about these things. So, for you to form new form of ideas, it means you must have read other people's idea, then combine them together to bring out new idea. So that is not something difficult for us to understand. So what are the purposes of doing this referencing? Firstly, it is for us to provide credit, because in science, giving credit to somebody else's information is very, very important, because that's how we can give them proper evaluation or proper credit immediately for their excellent work. Yeah. So you shouldn't like take other people's credits immediately. And also, it is a form of avoiding plagiarism. So, like I mentioned yesterday, specifically when you quote like a figure or a fact, so you are not the first person to say it, and you will also not be the last. So you have to reference the first part, majorly the person that said that thing initially. Take for instance, maybe you check the paper in 2024, and they made a statement, and probably you saw like two citations. Maybe the citation is from 2006 and 2012. So which one are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the work that was published in 2024 as a source of your reference, or you are going to pick the two references that was cited in that paper, maybe one in 2006 and one in 2012? Of course, you are going to pick the original source. So because that's the owner of that particular idea. So you also, it depends on what you want. You can try to cite all the three together because of course there will be some kind of modification in the way the message has been passed, but the main idea of the message will not be missing. So you can cite like 2006, 2020, 2012, and also 2024. Or you can just pick the most recent and the first person to actually say that particular statement, which is why people always dig deep to know the source of this information. So which is very important. Yeah. Also, the reason why we do referencing is to avoid plagiarism, which is what we talked about yesterday. Also, to trace the source of the information. This is basically what I just explained. We want to know the root of the information compared to, because if you are in a very well-controlled environment, they will check all your references, like probably you write a particular text or you submit your thesis, people reviewing your thesis, they will check the source of all the information that you've written, not that you just put any reference. Maybe you are talking about bacteria and you are putting a reference that is talking about AI. Like there's nothing like they don't go hand in hand. So you cannot just put any reference into a particular idea. So this referencing helps us to trace the source of information for whatever you have put down in your research writing. Also to verify the evidence, maybe I say now over 50% of people are suffering from poverty according to this so data. So it means when I check, okay, 50% really, is this true? So let me just check the source based on the citation you already included. Then I'll check, oh, this is really true. Then that is a very good research writing. It might not even be research, it could be article writing. So explore further reading on the topic. Maybe I really want to know more about what I've shared, so I'll just try to go to that reference and it will take me to the source of the information. So, which is why we really need to practice good referencing system. Yeah, there are different types of referencing styles, like we already know. For instance, if in undergraduate, you will see some courses where they will teach you about how to write or how to do a lot of things pertaining to research. And in Nigeria, I think one of the most common referencing style is the APA, which is American Psychological Association referencing system. Majorly, it is used in education and also social sciences. So yeah, they mostly adopt this type of referencing system. Also, we have Modern Language Association, MLA, we have the Chicago style, and also the Harvard style. Also, we have discipline-specific preferences. So this is why we really need to do this type of topic. Take for instance, you've written all your thesis based on APA, maybe as a result of the requirement of the doctoral school or your master study school. Maybe they already mentioned that all your thesis must be written with APA style, so you have to follow that particular style. But however, probably you want to publish your work in a particular journal. The journal is going to tell you, use our referencing system. So it means when you want to copy part of your thesis and you want to put it in the publication style, you really have to change the whole of the referencing system. So now this is where the problem always come, or probably they will even reject the article. Maybe when they check the article and they feel like, oh, the referencing is really, really bad, they can just reject it on the first day of submission. So, which is why if you start your thesis with a very good referencing system, no matter where you are submitting that particular research writing to, you will always find it very easy for you to change it to different style you want to change it to. And I think discussing this type of topic is Very, very important. Yeah, so these are the different styles of referencing that we can come across. So I'll just try to speak about some of them. We have the APA style. It is usually comes with the author. Smith here that we are saying is the surname or last name. It also means the same thing. So Smith here we have Smith as the surname. We have J as the first name and A as the middle name. So here the first name and the middle name is always abbreviated, while Smith is usually maintained as the last name, and yeah, it appears in the reference that way. So we always have like the title of the work included in the reference, the publication date, the source, the page number, and the volume and issue numbers. The volume and issue numbers depend on the type of database or the type of publication journal you are using. So volume mean basically if it is like a high ranking journal, they can just feel like for a particular year, we are only going to be having 2 volumes or 4 volumes. So they will divide the volume based on the year. They can say, okay, between January and March, we are going to have like volume 1. Between April and maybe June, we are going to have volume 2, July to September, probably volume 3, from October to December, volume 4. So it means for that particular period, you have to target a particular volume. So I think majorly for some other journals, they can have maybe they really want to get a lot of articles. They can have a lot of volumes up to volume 20 for a particular year. So now issue number is just like this, like volume is like a collection of issues. So they can have different issues for a particular volume major. So yeah, each publication will be assigned a volume and issue number. We also have the digital object identifier. So this is like a link that is attributed to a particular publication. So it means I don't have to cram the title of the work. So once I just get hold of this DOI, it is very easy for me to gather all the information pertaining to this particular article. And also we have the MLA style. So this one, it maintains both the last name, which is Smith, and also the first name, which is John. So the first name or the middle name is not abbreviated. So I showed here here an example of APA style. You can see Alonso is the surname, A abbreviated. We also have Camargo, which is also the surname of the second author. So here is for when we have 2 authors. So it is going to be written like this. When we have more than 2, so we just have to put comma, then we write until we get to the last person. So we can see there is a difference in the way it is being organized. You can see here for the MLA style, we have volume 21. It was specifically mentioned volume 21. But here, there's for the APA style, we just have like 21 written. In brackets, we have the issue number. Here, they wrote number 1. In fact, they even wrote the specific date that the article was published. So which actually signifies the differences between these different type of style. It is not uncommon for you to find the mixture of this style in a student thesis. And why? Because you don't really use a very proper referencing style. Some even they will just copy everything without even checking. And if you happen to find a very good reviewer, in fact, I remember when I was submitting my master thesis, one of the reviewer actually dedicated all his time to check all the referencing. I was like, so they always check all these referencing one after the other. Oh, yeah, you omitted comma. Yeah, you did not put the brackets. You did not do this. You did not do that. And even for the fact that I used a very good references since then. How about not using anyone at all? So maybe you just copied anything anyhow. It means, in fact, they will just cancel everything and say, rewrite all the referencing. So, which is why we have to follow good practice. Yeah, I'm going to move ahead. Now, this also brings us to citation. We know that referencing is divided into citation and bibliography. Bibliography or referencing is also is something you find at the end of your thesis. Like, okay, this is the much more detailed source of my information. Why citation is just like a short referencing. So just to point us to what we have at the end of our publication. So for instance, it can be in different form depending on the type of style we are using, maybe APA or MLA. And also the placement also differs. Placement, maybe we are going to place it at the beginning of the sentence, or maybe it will be at the end of the sentence. We are going to see something like that. Also, the purpose majorly is to acknowledge the source used to support your argument. Because when you are really discussing your result or anything, you have to use something to support it that okay, this is not the first time they will obtain this type of result. It has already been reported in this so journal. Of course, you don't have to say it has already, no. You just have to put the citation there. So when that person sees that citation, they can just go to the last page and see, okay, the person said this article supported. Okay, let me check. Then it will really make everything very easy for you and also for the reviewer. Yeah, for the in-text citation, it can take two forms. For instance, I brought these two example. Of course, in fact, I've never even come across where somebody is using APA style here or here in France or something like that. But of course, we really have to know what is pertaining to our country majorly. Here we have the APA style. Usually, when you are using the APA style, the citation comes just before the full stop of a particular sentence. So here, maybe we have a statement that reads, a recent study found that exercise can improve cognitive function. Now that we have a recent, so you as a student, when you write this type of statement and you did not put citation, it doesn't make any sense because you said a recent study. I'll be expecting, okay, where is the recent study? So, but when you put like Smith 2023, it means that, okay, Smith said this particular statement. Then I can go to the back of the article to check, okay, yeah, this is the full detail of the article. Here, we have the MLA style. The MLA style is always done in form of reported like speech, like you are reporting somebody what someone has said. So usually they always write something like according to, so it is usually done in this format according to, or when you check this table, or you can say something like as stated by, as reported by. So you can just, normally that is what begins that particular paragraph when you use this type of style. So which is why, for instance, maybe they ask you to use MLA style and you've written all your thesis based on APA style. So they can basically just tell you that you did not follow the requirement. So which is why you have to understand that style you are using. So here, for you to put the citation, we have Smith here. Smith is just standing alone. And here we have 2023. And now you have to be careful. The reason why we have just Smith here is because Smith is just, the publication is a single author publication. If there are like a lot of authors, you have to put et al. Here, Smith et al. In bracket 2023. That is for the MLA style. If it is for the APA style, it will be Smith et al. Then you put dot, like full stop, then comma 2023. So the name and the year of publication will be together in the bracket. While for MLA style, you are going to separate the name from the year of publication. But although I've actually read that for MLA style, you don't have to specify the year in the writing, in the citation basically. But when you are really particular about, maybe you want to say, maybe that particular author has like publication in different years. Because for instance, if I read this particular statement, according to a recent study, how recent? Because that would be the question. Is it last 5 years or last 10 years? Because some people can say in a recent study, and it is going to mean last 10 years. So, which is why sometimes you can specify the year, but most times people don't really specify year using the MLA format. And this is what differentiates APA and MLA. Like I already mentioned, focus on author date, yes, you have to combine both the name and the year. But year, I think I shouldn't put parentheses in just last name. Year, you don't have to, you must not put like the name in in the bracket rather. So the name have to stand alone from the year. So year, I wrote here that it includes year for APA. For MLA, no, except in some cases. So in some cases, that was what I already explained previously. Direct quote, like maybe you lifted something just the way it was said. Probably you did not change anything, or maybe it can even be from textbooks or something like that. You have to mention the last name, year, and the page, like maybe page 12 of this particular textbook. Yeah, you just have to mention the last name majorly. Paraphrase, I already mentioned last name, year. No, you don't have to put the year immediately. Wording is just like free writing. You write freely, and here you have to just use according to as stated by, as reported by. Yeah. So that's what differentiates APA from MLA stuff. What are the consequences of poor referencing? Academic consequences, which is why a lot of supervisors, Nigerian supervisors are not bad because, the student, they don't really want to do anything. That's why sometimes, what's wrong with this? Guy did not even accept my, what was it? Going and coming, because you did not follow simple things. So there could be academic consequences. They can tell you that, oh, you plagiarize all your thesis or something like that, or you've given somebody else. You pay one cafe man to help you to write all your thesis. You paid, and now at the end of the day, you lost both money and also you did not even receive that degree. So, which is why take your time to do all these things, because at the end of the day, you are the owner of the result here. Yes, there's plagiarism penalties, because when you submit it to reviewers, they will tell you that no, it seems this report contains a lot of plagiarized information. Also, it can impact your grade, especially if you're in this part of the world in which they always pay attention to everything. So you don't want to get a very bad grade. Professional consequences, they can retract the article and it can lead to a lot of problems. Legal issues, because some people, when you plagiarize their, especially for patent or something, maybe you used somebody else's work without obtaining a license for you can find yourself in the court majorly, and damage to reputation. Yeah. Yeah. So in this part, we have gotten to the introduction to referencing tools. I don't know, maybe before I move to the next part, if you are just new to this sort of referencing system, you can maybe put your computer to put your computer by your side, or maybe you're already using your computer. We are going to try to see how we can use one of these referencing tools. And they are really, really very nice to use and very easy to use. So yeah, we have different ones. I think I've tried 3. I've not tried the last one. I've tried EndNote, I've tried Zotero, and also I've tried Mendeley. So I can actually tell you which one actually make more sense, although it might not really make sense to you. But I think as a student, you should be able to pick one out of the 3. So yeah, we are going to see them one after the other. Oh, okay, I think there's a problem with my slides. This should come before the referencing, but I will just quickly discuss this. Yeah, we have benefit of using referencing tools. We know that I've read somewhere where people say, I just finished typing all my referencing and I spent 4 hours. Somebody laughed at that. Is basically not a work. In fact, it's as if you did not even do anything. It is waste of time and resources. So a referencing tool actually saves a lot of time. Like time efficiency is really, really like 100%. Here we have automating citation process. This that you are seeing here is very, very important. For instance, if you want to write like a research paper, what's the first thing you have to write? You don't have to start from the introduction. You start it. No, no, no. That's a very bad practice, because you are going to experience a lot of writing block. So the first thing for you to start with when you're writing a research article is the result and discussion. Why? Because it is very easy to do, because it is something you've done, or even the methodology part, because majorly for you to have something to write about, it means you must have performed some actions. So you just have to go there and start writing, oh, I did this, I used 2 grams of this, I used this type of material. Very easy to write. Result and discussion, because you must have been doing some meetings with your supervisor and you have already started writing the result and say, oh, this, we noticed this, and this. Then you can start to say, you can start to check articles that support all what you are writing about. Now, you see where the problem is going to come when you are not using referencing tool. Now that you've completed all the result and discussion and you already incorporated all the citation, now it is now time to write the introduction. Maybe you really want to write the introduction. Probably the journal tell you have to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to arrange everything. Now you start writing the introduction and you want to call the referencing of the introduction 1. And now you already started with 1 in result and discussion. There's going to be a problem. Maybe because that's why students spend a lot of time, or probably you just do everything and you just submit it to your supervisor, and he or she is just going to check that this is bullshit. So you just have to okay, go and recheck all your referencing. And of course, if you have followed the right way, you wouldn't experience something like that. So which is why you have to automate rather this citation process. Also, it gives a lot of accuracy in your citation, no problem, very easy and very convenient to use. Also, it reduces human error, because if you are typing this citation, I don't know how very good you can be with Word, and you're going to correctly type and efficiently type those references very well. I think it's impossible for you to achieve that accuracy that a referencing tool is going to give you. Also, organization, which is very important, because you really want to be organized. So you don't want to mix all these referencing. You don't want to mix everything up. Also, managing and storing references. This is very, very good. Why? Because take, for instance, maybe you are in undergraduate or you are in master's and you want to continue to PhD, and maybe these subjects, they are very, very maybe it is the same research interest or the same subject. So you want to carry all these your previous information to your new PhD or master studies. So when you have this type of tool, you can just continue working on your work and it will be as if everything is set for you. We are going to see something like that in the practical section. Let me check the time. Okay, I think we still have some time. Yeah, and I think those are the benefit of using referencing tools. Now, the different referencing tool, I've tried EndNote. It is very good, very, very nice. Particularly, it has a large number of citations. You can use the APA just as mostly required for most institutions in Nigeria. Also, it has strong integration with academic database and library catalog. So what does this mean? There is something called Web of Science. So maybe you are looking, I know sometimes you might not really have access to Web of Science. Maybe you only have Google Scholar. So from Google Scholar, you can search a lot of things, and which is really, really good. But if you have access to something like Web of Science, from that Web of Science, it is possible for you to gather all the results that a normal Google Scholar will give you. You will just click, it will ask you to just tick all these things for me and send them to my referencing tool. So it makes your literature review very easy. You just send everything. Maybe you are working about, let's say, for instance, maybe I'm working on battery. You can just say, okay, send me all articles on lithium-ion battery. So it will just gather everything. I will just click the ones I want and send them to my referencing tool. Then probably I'm already writing. I can just check them one after the other and see the one I want. So which is really good. Also, it has advanced features for managing and organizing large libraries of references. So this is really, really good in terms of the pros. In the cons, it is expensive because you have to pay. Like I said, if you did not have, because I have like institutional license, it is possible for me to use this for free. But maybe you you are just in Nigeria, and we know most of our institutions, they don't subscribe to all this type of thing. So it may be problematic. So which is why I would not be recommending using EndNote, because sometimes it can even be complicated to use because it has a lot of features. So I would not be really recommending these EndNote. The next one, we have Zotero. Zotero, I think some of us already know about this because from yesterday, I saw a lot of people share their AI tools that they've been using. In terms of the Pro, it is free and open source, like accessible to everyone. So also, it has good interface and very good library of referencing style. In terms of the cons, it it has storage space. So storage space, yes, it's really limited. Of course, you can. Of course, for every software, they will always put this premium stuff that, oh, yeah, you can pay, and for you to get access to much storage. But I think you don't need a lot of storage. You need storage if maybe you want to change your computer and you also want to access the PDF of that particular article. Maybe you've downloaded a lot of articles and you have them on a particular computer. And now, probably you're on your phone, you also want to check or probably you're also using tablet and you want to check those papers on the tablet. You can log in online and you will also find all these PDF that you have in your database. But as a result of the fact that there is a limited storage, it means if you had over 100 PDFs into your database that is on your computer, when you open your phone or your tablet and you want to check all these referencing again, of course, you will find all these 100 references rather. However, you will not find all these 100 PDFs. It might be 20 PDFs that will be there. It means your storage has been used. For your computer, of course, because it is using the memory of the computer to store all these files. So it is possible for you to still find them there. But it is not going to synchronize all these 100 files into the cloud storage majorly. So I think that's just the limitation of Zotero. And I think this is not a problem. I don't know why you are checking for PDFs on your phone. So everything should be done on your computer majorly. Yeah, so and in fact, I should mention something. Even though you don't have access to the PDF, you can still check maybe other website that you always try to use to check all these articles for free. I don't know them, but I know some people use some kind of way to do it. I've also used Mendeley. Mendeley is also good, very nice. It is also free to use. However, I think it's not really that nice compared to Zotero. So I think if you are using Mendeley, probably you'll only stick to Mendeley. We advise you to try Zotero as well because previously I was using Mendeley, but when I tried Zotero, I was like, oh, I think this Zotero makes more sense than Mendeley. But Mendeley is also nice. And if you wish like you don't want to change, I think you can still stick to Mendeley. Yeah, so now is the start of the practical aspect because I think I have to start early so that we don't waste a lot of time. Yeah, so the step for you to install and use Zotero is very simple. The first part, I'll try to show us maybe I'm going to just share my slide, but I will quickly go over this. We have to install Zotero, adding references, and also using Zotero with word processes. But the main setup is that you will register an account on Zotero website. So this is important for you to be able to access the Zotero platform when you download the Zotero application on your PC. So how do you do that? So immediately I'm going to unshare this and go to my browser. So because if you can see my screen here, I already have my own Zotero that we are seeing here. But if you want to do this, go to zotero.org. Here I'm already in the download section. So if you go to zotero.org, so you can just click on login. So when you click login, then you can see register for a free account. So here, this is my own personal account, already registered. But of course, if you want to register for a free account, then click on register, then fill all this information, then click on register and everything will be done. Yeah. Now, after you are done, let's say maybe I try to log in. If I log in, so majorly here I'm going to be having all my database and basically all these research articles. So here we are not even interested in all these online database, but just to show you that you can just log in and everything. So the next step, we are going to go back to Zotero download. So you can search for download Zotero. It's very easy. So you can just go to zotero.org/download. So here it is giving you two options depending on the depending on your computer. Maybe you are using MacBook or you are using Windows. So you can just say download Zotero for Windows. I'm going to click on download here. Then after downloading, it will be nice. So I'm going to have it on my system just like I already have it. So then you install. It's very easy. The same way you always install um, your applications. The next thing is, so if I try to click my Zotero here, like I already have it, but for you to be able to have this type of platform, you need to go to tools, and I think add-ons. I'm not sure. There is a particular part where you have to log in. I don't know if I don't know if I remember where to log in. Let me check. Create install browser add-ons developer. Check for there's a particular part where you have to log into Zotero in this part. I'm trying to see, close, edit, view, tools. I think when you play with all these parts, there's a particular part where it will tell you to log in. So after you've tried to navigate with all these functions, because I don't know, maybe it's yeah.
Maybe because you've already done the installation.
Yeah. So if it's your first time, I think between tools and help, you are going to see where you will log in. So that makes it very, 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 very easy. So of course you will find it. Just play with all these things. So when you are done, the next step is for you to go to tools and click on add-ons. So when you click on add-ons, it is going to show you two things that, okay, the Zotero LibreOffice integration, I think we don't need something like that. But here we have integrate Zotero with Microsoft Word. So which is what we really want. So you just have to click, because I already click enable. So you just click enable in your own case. After you've logged in, the first step, create an account. Second step, download Zotero. Third step, log in your account into your Zotero application. The next step, go to tools and click on enable. So when you click that, it means we want to integrate Zotero into our Word application that we have on our computer. So when all that is done, I think the best thing is for you to try to close Zotero. And also maybe you already opened a Word file. Try to close everything so that there will be a successful integration, because sometimes maybe you already have Word opened. It may not integrate. So which is why you have to make sure you close the browser. Or sometimes you can even restart your system for it to work very well. So yeah, so after all is done, reopen your Word. And when you open like a blank document, the first thing you will see that your interface has changed, and there's like an introduction of a new function on your Word file, which is Zotero. So which is what we have here. You can see when I click Zotero, I already have like a new stuff on my computer, which is really, really nice. So when step is done. The next step is for us to now start. Probably I want to start writing, and I don't know, maybe I've written a particular statement according to blah, blah, blah. So maybe I've written a sentence and I want to insert citation to this particular statement. Of course, the first step for us to do is to first check the source. So, what's our source? So, for us to be able to do to check for the source, we have to go back to our Zotero. Go back to your Zotero. They are like we have a lot of things. So here we have a lot of tools here right up that we are observing. You can create a lot of files, just like you always create files on your computer to be able to segregate all your referencing. So now the thing we really want to do is here gives you the opportunity to add that particular reference onto your Zotero here. Take for instance, like I mentioned, there's DOI. That DOI, probably I know a particular DOI. Let me check. I don't want to go to the browser because there's time limitation. So maybe you already have the DOI link. I can come here. Once I click this like a touch that has like this plus button. So I'm going to paste it. Of course, you can paste it with doi.org/10 dot blah blah blah. Or you can even start from 10 dots as you want. It is going to work. So you just click on enter. Once you click on enter, yes, it is going to tell you that, of course, you have to be connected. Not that you'll be doing this without internet connection. You have to be connected. So it is going to show you that, okay, this has been added, just like we are seeing it here. You can see eco-friendly synthesis of nitrogen dot carbon materials. So you can see it has been added, which is good. Now, I'm going to go back to my Word now that I'm already sure that it is going to work. The next thing for us to do is that now we don't know the type of citation preference we want. Maybe we want APA style or MLA style. Now I want to choose the style. I'll go to document preference. What do you want? Okay, I want APA style. So which is American Psychological, oh sorry, you are going to click on document reference and click on American Psychological Association. So help me to do my referencing in this type of format. Then I'm going to click OK. So once I click OK, I think everything, can see everything has been communicated within Zotero and Word. So the next step is for us to now add the citation. So I'm going to click on Add Citation. So add citation, I can, because I already know the name of the author, I can just write Musa, because that's what we just added now, which is this that I have here. So you just click. Once you click, just click on enter. Yeah, you can see now the citation has been added. Musa et al. Dot, 2018. So which is like APA style, which is really good. Then I can continue to write whatever I'm writing. Okay, anyway. Now the next thing is to do the references. So maybe you want to put the references. It is really easy. Just create your references part and click on add bibliography. Once I click on add bibliography, so majorly it is going to generate the references in a correct format. You can see the names with the first name abbreviated. Here we have the title, the name of the journal, the volume, the index, and the page, and lastly followed by the DOI. So which is really, really good. Then, in fact, probably this is your introduction. You can even quickly jump to your result and discussion. So once you jump to result and discussion, you can start another thing. Maybe you want to start writing. You can also include another reference. The computer with the artificial intelligence that has been incorporated into this system, it will arrange everything in a perfect order. So you just have to be doing your own work, and the stuff will be doing its own work majorly. So I think that's the end of the practical section. So lastly, So yeah, best practices when you are using this type of referencing tools, you have to be consistent. So, like now, you shouldn't jump between Mendeley and Zotero. If you want to be using Zotero, keep on using it, and it will be very helpful to you. If you only want to stick to Mendeley, don't go and look for Zotero and mix everything up. No. You can just stop Mendeley and concentrate on Zotero, which is really good. And also, you have to stick to one style. Like I already mentioned, pay attention to details. In fact, sometimes, artificial intelligence or all these things, they are not 100% accurate. There are some problems sometimes, so you just have to modify them. Also, stay updated with the referencing and also keep up with the changes in citation stuff. So, yeah. And maybe you want to, okay, maybe I will just put that to the last. For conclusions, so accurate referencing will really go a long way to improve you as a researcher. So, and also it will improve you to avoid plagiarism. It basically saves time and effort. It makes you well organized in your writing. Also, tools like we already discussed, they are very good to support you for your research journey. And also, you have to keep up to date with the latest referencing guidelines and styles. So lastly, maybe I should just do this as the last one. In fact, probably you want to publish your work and you can just go to document reference. Okay, they said we should publish this work in Nature. Now I'll just click on Nature. Everything will remain the same and I will just click OK. It will change everything. You can see Nature always use like one, just like you see here, and it will change everything. So, and if you want to go back to your APA style, you can just click on document preference and click on APA, just like you want, and it will return back to what we already have. So, which makes everything very easy. So, I think that will be the end of the presentation today. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خيرا. May Allah continue to improve your knowledge. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. It's very insightful. I personally have learned a lot of things from him. And for the other participants have also done, they have learned some things from it. Because in terms of academic writing, as a researcher, as a student, you cannot do without references. Thank you for giving us your insight. So I know we have some questions to have our speaker, but please let's try to like turn it down and keep in our notes. So after the second presentation, we are going to the second presentation by the second speaker, we are going to like collect all the questions. So before going to the second speaker, I'm going to call on the founder in person of Dr. Zainab to briefly tell the
We'll join meeting Loni.
hello, Sister Fatima, please can you mute yourself? Also, I'm going to call on Dr. Zainab to give us some hints about NERA, the Muslim Research Academy. So Dr. Fatima, Dr. Zainab, pardon me.
Okay.
No.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Jazakallah khairan Sadiq, for hosting to this program. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, loudly and clear.
Okay. Although I've mentioned a few things about Muslims in research and academics yesterday, but for those that were not around yesterday, and just to reiterate what I said before, Muslims in Research and Academic is a network which started 2020 January. It's a network of Nigerian Muslims basically that are into research or are starting their career in research and academics, and it's just an opportunity for us to network, collaborate, and learn as we move through the ladder of academic and research. So we use the group to teach ourselves on best practices regarding research, academic writing, teaching, and even career advancement, and also share opportunities from PhD, postdoc, research, fellowship opportunities, and even opportunities where we can collaborate regarding research with people, colleagues from Nigeria, outside Nigeria, discuss. Sometimes we ask questions regarding our research work when maybe we need help with a particular software or we need help with analyzing a particular result. So the group is basically to assist each other in our research journey. And alhamdulillah, it has been very, very useful. And also we have monthly discussion last Sunday of every month. This same link is what we use for our monthly discussion last Sunday of every month at 7:30, just a 1 hour discussion, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., where we invite speakers. Most of the speakers are usually part of the set. If need be, we also look for speakers outside the network to discuss with us on various topics that would be useful to us. And just like we said yesterday, if there's anyone, whether you're doing, even if you're doing your undergraduate and you feel like, okay, this is a pathway, whether for your career or you're interested in doing PhD in the future, and you'd like to join so that you can see opportunity, ask questions from experienced researchers, you're free to drop your WhatsApp number on contact and we will add you to the group. Or also, if you are currently doing your PhD or you're already working as a lecturer, an academic researcher, and you're interested in joining the group to speak with other people, other like-minded people, you feel that you want to collaborate with other people, you want to network with other people, or you also want to share opportunities that you feel is going to be useful to us because we're also open to various collaboration with people in Nigeria, outside Nigeria. So feel free to drop your WhatsApp number and inshallah we'll add you to the WhatsApp group. And once again, I would like to welcome you to day 2. And I don't know about other people, I've been able to learn so much from yesterday's discussion. And in fact, I just downloaded Zotero myself because I haven't been using Zotero. And before now, I've had several people saying they prefer Zotero. I used Mendeley before this, which I enjoy, but I've noticed some cons, just like how Demola shared, and I felt, okay, let me just try and give Zotero a chance, see if it's something I'm going to prefer using. And I just downloaded it and I'll try and see if I enjoy using it. So basically, that is what we do in Muslims and Research and Academic. And I would share the Zoom, the LinkedIn link, so you can follow our LinkedIn page where we share um, our various monthly discussion, and we also share news about our group members, maybe their recent publication, awards, um, any good news in a way to inspire ourselves and inspire others out there to see what we are doing. Then also, I would also share the YouTube link. Most of our monthly discussions are there. So in case you feel, okay, I'm having challenges with something, there is a high chance that we have the video in our YouTube page already. So you can subscribe to our page and then listen to any of the video. In fact, we've invited Ademola before to share some of his experiences during as a researcher. So there are several topics there that you can watch and learn from. So once again, welcome everyone to this, and I'll say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you
Ameen.
for your insightful comment because he, in fact, he really like talk about more about Mira because you got to pay into Bahamas and Alhamdulillah, thank you for that. So, inshallah, if you have heard, we are going to drop the link to the LinkedIn page. Let's do well to follow the page and also try to like some discussion in the page. And also, if you are just joining the session now, don't worry, it's not lost anything. You can just watch the discussion on the YouTube page after today's session. It used to be posted there. Thank you. So, inshallah Rahman, we're going to continue with the second session for today's program. So I'll be using this medium. I think okay, let me know. Dr. Rahim, hope you are with us, huh? Dr. Rahim Amin.
Yes, please.
Now, okay. So thank you so much. Dr. Rahim will be doing justice to the topic on crafting a compelling research title on outline development. Because, as a researcher, as a student, we need to have a good title, a topic, either for our final year project, our master's project, or either you want to you saw a problem in your vicinity, in your neighborhood, you want to try to write a paper for other people to see. Your topic determines a lot of things. It's going to say more things about your research. So Dr. Rahim is going to be doing a justice to this, how we can craft a compelling research title and how we are going to outline those the development, what we need to put together. So let me try to speak, read the biography of Dr. Abdulrahim. So Dr. Rahim Olatunji Aminu is currently a PhD candidate at the University of Reading in the United Kingdom. He specializes in enhancing climate resilience and improving smallholder livelihoods across Nigeria and other sub-Saharan parts of Africa. With his bachelor's and master's degree in agricultural economics from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Nigeria, and also his MSc at China Agricultural University, Beijing. So Dr. Aminu boasts a robust academic background. He's scholarly. He has contributed to over 15 published works alongside active engagement in teaching, mentoring undergraduate and postgraduate students, both in Nigeria and diaspora, which is contributing significantly to academia in general. Dr. Amin is affiliated with a lot of prestigious professional organizations such as the Nigerian Association of Agricultural Economics, NAAE, and International Association of Agricultural Economics, IAAE, just to mention a few, and is affiliated with a large number of organizations. Dr. Amin demonstrates the commitment to professional growth. He has augmented his expertise through training programs in Nigeria, China, and the United Kingdom. He is currently serving as a lecturer in the Department of Agricultural Economics and Farm Management at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Nigeria. May Almighty Allah continue to increase our doctors in knowledge, science, and understanding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Doctor. We are so happy to have you here today. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Alhamdulillah, at least everyone can hear me. Jazakallah khairan to the organizers and specifically to Dr. Zainab for pursuing us up and down, ensuring that we make it to this event, and even for coming up with this novel idea. It is an assignment that is only Allah that can reward you. What you are doing for the Ummah, you might not know the what, but trust me, your reward is with Allah, and Allah will reward you abundantly, even more than what you've imagined. And it's also a legacy that you have set for yourself. And trust me, you are saying that you don't know if people have learned, but I can see. When I was listening yesterday, somebody make a comment. I was like, if this is the only thing that we can take out from this event, Alhamdulillah, we have impacted in people's life with the kind of comment that people were making yesterday. So I pray to Allah to bless every one of us and bless the organizer, bless every one of us that we are speaking. Let me set a caveat. Everything I want to say this morning, um, I'm still a learner. I'm growing in the field. I don't know yet. Everything I'm just doing is just copy and paste here and there. So if you see any mistake in my presentation, please pardon me. It is not deliberate. It is not to make you feel stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. No. But if you see anything useful for you, well, Alhamdulillah and Jazakallah khairan for finding it useful. May Allah bless the knowledge for you. I've been asked to talk about let me try and share my screen and see if you're on point. Just a moment for me, please.
No problem.
Um,
Please, while waiting, you can try to listen down our question, and also let's try to also listen to the second question by Dr. Roy, and also try to have some questions to ask them. They are going to give us appropriate answers to our question. Thank you.
Where's our Zoom? Okay, let me take you there from here. Where's the screen sign now? Now, screen, share screen. Okay, I've seen it. Screen am I sharing? Screen. Can you see my screen now, please?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Just a moment. Scattered everything here. Anyway, let me see which one now. I'm using two screens, so I don't know which one is showing.
All right.
Can you see you are seeing the title page now, right?
Yeah, crafting.
All right, alhamdulillah. And I've been asked to speak about crafting compelling research title and the outline development. So I think maybe we know the essence of research title. Maybe that was the reason why they asked me to speak last, because truly, when we want to do any research or we are writing, the first thing we would do is to write something down that this is the title of what I want to work on. But in reality, title is the last thing that scholars have always advised that we should do or we should write last. Because okay, I'll get there anyway. There are a lot of amendment that can happen to title. If I can confirm, I have 45 minutes, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, I don't need to.
Okay, so I've timed myself down 45 minutes. Okay, so crafting research title, it's not that difficult, but it takes a long-term skill. You see some people they will use two words, and that way it will convey the message. Some they write 18 words. Now a lot of scholars have said, journals have said, okay, you need to limit it to the number of words that can be in your so I've been introduced as Rahim Aminu. Rahim Aminu is my name. The O there is Olatunji. from University of Reading in the UK. So I'll start with what is the importance of research title, because I think that is what is going to drive the reason why we are looking at this topic this morning. One, it helps to grab the attention of the potential reader. Whenever we are looking for literature, that we are doing the literature review that they've explained to us yesterday and using the reference, what usually that we read first is the title. And the title plays a significant role whether people will read our work or not. It promotes audience engagement. And the title must explain what the paper is all about. As a reviewer, if an editor sends me a paper to review, the first set of things that I will look at the title, I will look at the reference. And that is another importance of what Dr. Adeniji have just taught us this morning. Once I look at your title, I'll read your abstract and I'll look at your reference. Even before I will read the body, if there is no connection from your title and between your title and your abstract, trust me, I'm forming my opinion that this paper will not go anywhere. So it's very important that we pay attention to it. And it might be your only chance that somebody will read your paper. So if you miss it, you've missed it then. Because we are flooded by a lot of publications that reader don't have time to read all these scientific jargons that we are writing. So they are always selective. And from the process of selection, title comes first. So whenever we are writing our research title, we should think about how we want to enhance readers' readability from the potential readers, how we want to engage the audience. Is our title reflecting what our paper is all about? Then we need to salvage our life. It's between life and death. Either you get it right and you get cited, or your paper get downloaded, or is out and there's nothing, you might not have the second chance. So remember that, so I put this in quotes, like the first reader, remember that the first readers are the editor and referees. Also, readers are the potential author who will cite your article. So the first impression is powerful. I'll get an example of most of us, the undergraduate students, when we are looking for title, they will ask us to go to our departmental lab. Then you see effect of economic analysis. I think we'll get there. We need to improve on that. So what are the forms of research title? It's just three. The original title, which is the title that you first conceived the idea of the title that you first conceived, that you pen down that this is the title of the work I want to do. Then you have the working title. Now, there could be a variation between your working title can retain the original title as the works progress. But at the same time, you can change as your work progresses. The original title can change and become a working title and say, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I don't really have a concrete title at this point, but this is the idea and this is why I pen it down. Then the last one is revised title, which usually be the final title. So after either your work has gone through peer review process, or if it's in the form of thesis that your supervisor have read and it has gone through the viva procedure, and they can make a change to your research title. Like I said earlier, there's always a connection between the research objective and research title, a strong connection of what you have set out to achieve. Your research title must tell us what you intend to achieve. If there's no connection there, trust me, that paper will end up in the bin. And that is not the goal of every academy. So may God help us, and we also need to help ourselves by constant training, reading, and seeking advice from peers. Now, what are the elements of a compelling title? It must be crystal clear, communicate the research focus. So your research title should clearly communicate the aim, objectives of your research. It is dole, it is compulsory. You can't negotiate that. 2 is that it must show us the importance and the relevance of that research. From the title, you must know, they will say, because of when you commit an offense, that's why they always give us a name. Our name is like title. When you hear, if you want to know somebody from a royal family, you hear if the person is a Yoruba man, you hear Ade in his name. Ade, Ade. Even without telling you, know that that person is from a royal family. If you hear someone bearing like Oje, you know that that person is from maybe a family where they worship or they carry masquerade and all the stuff. If you hear Anyo something, you know that that person is from a family where they do drum beating and stuff like that. So it must show the importance and the relevance of your research. Use creative language to craft your research title. That title must have, the language must be beautiful. You can't just use just ordinary language and you say, okay, this is how I want to write it, because you are trying to convey a message and you have a limited number of words that you can use to tell us the meaning of, or to tell us about your research. So always try to use a creative language to use. Now, we'll go to strategies of crafting a research title. Like I said, it is always the best practice to craft your title after you have concluded your research. Title should come last. It should come after you have written your abstract. Abstract is the second to the last that you are writing in your research. So once you have completed everything, based on what you have done, you can then create the title. So in the case of thesis or dissertation, you can have a working title, as I've mentioned, and which can be revised after your results are ready. And trust me, for those who have passed through, or they are still currently in the graduate school, when we are submitting our proposal, for those who are finished, if you take your research proposal that you submitted and your final PhD thesis and look at the title, you might not even see a single word that appears from it. So, which tells you that it's a process. The title, getting to the final title, will take a process, and as a result, it can be revised, and you have a more beautiful research title at the end of the day. Your title must assess the main finding of your research, and it should be reflected in your title. So these are part of strategies that you can use to create. It also requires creativity and thoughtfulness. So to do this, you need to invest in time, in some time, in order to get it done. You need to keep practicing. You also need to, so they will say that invention is expensive, but innovation is cheaper. When you're writing paper, look at how top journals, for instance, in the field of agricultural economics, there's American Journal of Agricultural Economics, there's Journal of Agricultural Economics, there's Journal of Development Economics and stuff. If I'm writing a paper similar to something, I can look at how I can take 5, 10 papers, look at how they crafted their title. I can then try to emulate that kind of structure when I'm writing my title. So you need to practice. It's not a one-off thing that, oh, and it's not a bespoke that is already there on the shelf for you to go and pick. You should also capture the key concept and the theme of your work, which is similar to your research idea. Then less is more. The concept of less is more. Your title should have that concept. So which means that if you the lesser you can put your words together, it's better than having 18, 19, 20 words in a title. It switches off the reader. When I'm reading the title of my work is Effect of Style Fancies Scolometins on the apparatus of the Kinecon in Lagos, Nigeria, using it's too long. Even if it was a brilliant write-up, but the title has killed the morale to read the work. So we need to make sure it's simple. Then lastly, like I said, it's a training ground. It's not something that you can do on your own. Always seek for help, seek for input from your peers and your mentors. You don't have, nobody is an island of knowledge, so you don't have to be master in everything. Share your idea with your friend. It doesn't mean that they are going to steal your idea. It's your work. We are just trying to look at how you can come up with. And when we are saying that if you use creative or don't be fanciful about your research title, you remember that your research title must reflect your objective, the theme of your work, and the key concept must also be sure, and you must also need to use a limited number of words. So, example of how you you transit from original title to reverse title. Let's use this example. I took this example from Science Direct website. So you see the comment also. The original title is Preliminary Observation of the Effect of Salinity on Ethnic Community Distribution within an Eurasian time system in North Sea. So after the comment, so this is the comment. The long title distracts reader. Remove all redundancies such as studies on the nature of etc. Never use expressions such as preliminary, precise. And after that, the person reviewed it to effect of salinity on ethnic distribution within skirting exterior North Sea. You can count the number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And it was revised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 words. Simple, crystal clear, straightforward. Another example is this. The original title, Action of Antibiotics on Bacteria. It's too general. So the comment was, title should be specific. Think about how will I search for the piece of information when you design this title. The ambition, so the title was revised as Ambition of Growth of Mycobacterium Tuberculosis by Spectocin something. I think I didn't show the other part. Sorry for that. So the last example that I want to give here is like this: fabrication of carbon CDS coaxial nanofiber displaying optical and electrical properties via electrospinning carbon. Even me myself, I don't understand this. But the comment says English needs help. The title is nonsense. All materials have properties of all varieties. You could examine my ear for its electrical and optical properties. You must be specific. I haven't read the paper, but I suspect there is something special about these properties. Otherwise, why would you be reporting them? The editor-in-chief. So after receiving these comments, they revised it and it was published as Electrospinning of Carbon CDS Coaxial Nanofiber with Optical and Electrical Properties. You can see the big blue. This editor was lenient. If if it's all this kind of journal that they have less than 10% acceptance rate, trust me, these people will not even pass through desk review. It will be desk rejected from that spot. Why? Because of bad title. So this is telling us that we need to be concise with that title. We need to, all those ingredients that must be there. The salt must be enough. The oil must be moderate when we are cooking our title. It must appear, the title must convey our research objective, our findings, and the key concept of our research. All these things must be there in proportionate manner, so that when the editor, who is the first person to read our work, reads it, at least we can have a better chance of getting our paper published. Now, examples of published titles that is, now this is GMOs in Africa, status, adoption, public acceptance. This was published in Food Control in 2022. Now another one is, now I selected all these to let you know that there is no rule of thumb that says that this must be the exact number of title of words that must be in a title. Look at this. Does access to basic services and productive assets influence agricultural household dietary diversity and food security? Evidence from Ogun State, Nigeria. Now, the first one I mentioned, GMOs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, and it's still true because the objective, I think what the paper was doing is to see if access to basic services and productive assets influences also dietary diversity and food security in Ogun State, Nigeria. Another example is impact of social and demographic factor on multi-dimensional poverty profile of small arable crop farmers. Evidence from Nigeria. The first one is a review paper. This one is a review paper, while these ones are research article. And most times, sometimes for empirical research, the location of the study is always advisable to be stated. For empirical research, for most of us in social sciences like applied economics. Now, this one was SAD journal, this was Emirate Insight, the Journal of Social Economics Research. Now, look at this, the linkage between agricultural input subsidies, productivity, food security, and nutrition. This is another title which was accepted. Now, this one, understanding the determinant of household cooking for choice in sub-Saharan Africa. Evidence from Nigeria. Now, I remember when we were trying to come up with this title, like I said, usually when we are working as a team, we usually have our working title, which is our original, but at the end of the day, we'll review. We look at similar people that have done something on this topic. We look at them, we review them and say, okay, we use those people to come up with this title, and it was eventually published. So the last one I will show is, does a portfolio consumption adjustment, coping strategies erode resilience? Panel data evidence from Ethiopia. Now, there is something consistent about some people here. Some comes in the form of question. Does evidence, does this, comma, evidence, does this, comma, evidence. Some is like a statement, like for instance, the example of impact of social and demographic factors on poverty dimension. Evidence from Nigeria. So you see, when you are writing, it's different from, like, okay, let me say, I can write this understanding the determinant of household cooking for choices in sub-Saharan Africa has effect of cooking choice or choices on household something in Africa. But if you go and check that, even some paper, I think is American Journal of Economics, they will tell you they don't want any title that starts with effects or economic analysis. So it comes back to the creativity in writing a research title. So as we are just starting, that we don't have that proficiency to that extent, we can look at what people have done and see how we can emulate the example. So that's the first part of it. I think I've mistaken the the other part of outlining. I think it was research outline. I don't think maybe I don't know if it is title outline, but what I prepared was developing the research outline, how you develop. But please, I forgot to set this at the beginning that my background is applied economics, so all the examples I'm citing or the structures or whatever I'll be talking about will be mostly from my own field.
Yeah, it's
There's
fine.
a slight difference from the natural sciences, which I will identify some of these areas. So let's look at developing a research outline. Why do we need that? Is to organize our ideas and provide a structure for our research. And we can use this hierarchical structure to divide your outline into sections and subsections, which I will show you. But there is the general principle of if you are writing a paper, your paper must have a title, an abstract, introduction, methodology, result and discussion, conclusion and recommendation. Those six is compulsory, you must have it. Now, different papers, different journals, different, they have their own style of how to arrange which one should you have a subsection and so on. But let me give you some of the tips for creating an effective research outline. And the first one here is that you must ensure that your outline has a logical flow and cohesion. That's the first thing. There must be a logical flow in your outline. It must be consistent in formatting and style. You can't be using Times New Roman or in a section and you use Aptos in another section, then you use Garamond in another section, you use old bookman style or whatever in another section. It must be consistent in terms of the formatting and the style. The size, 12 points or 14 points or 11 points, whatever one you want to use, let it be consistent. Then you should not be rigid about the outline. You can there is need to revise and it may arise. So if you have written in a style and you structure your paper in a way, or you've outlined it in a form, and they ask you that, okay, no, this is it. Don't be too rigid. You don't need to make argument about it. Just do it because it's easier for you to come to rearrange, and then also ensure that your outline aligns with your research objective. So when you are presenting your story, in the logical flow essence of it, you can have three objectives that are flowing into one another. So when you're also writing, you let it also appear as, so if you write objective one, you cannot report or tell us the result of or the methodology of objective three before objective one. No, you must first report the methodology for objective one, then you move to objective two, then you move to objective three. The same way when you are presenting the results, you present the result of objective one first, followed by objective two, followed by objective three. So that's what I'm trying to say around that your research, you must align your research with your research objective. Possible. So that's that. Research outline, like I said, I've said that I'm from applied economic background. So there's a book called Doing Economics, what you should have learned in graduate school but you didn't. It was written by Mark Bellamy. He's one of the famous agricultural economists in the world. He was a former co-editor of American Journal of Agricultural Economics. This man, he wrote this book, and I got this this uh layout or the structure from his book. And I try to follow the book and the paper about what do I call it? The paper of understanding the choices of this paper, the last one. We follow this and this one. I've tried as much as possible to follow the format of those paper, and I tried to follow the paper for this one. Let me see, pen letter for this and this one, and I got I got it published. So it's always good to make an attempt. So the first thing is your title. Your title, that would be the first thing that will appear. But now this does not, I'm showing this that this is how you outline. It doesn't mean that which one you need to do first. I've made it clear. Title should be the last thing that you do. But when you are looking at how you are going to align your work, you must have title followed by abstract, introduction, theoretical framework. So abstract is the summary of what you have done, everything you have done. It has, so for instance, if we publish in a paper from Emerald Insight, they will break the abstract, so the core aim, the study design, the results, the strength or something like that within the abstract. So the idea of abstract is also a mini, let me say, a miniature of the entire paper, because you need to talk about the objective. You have an introductory statement, maybe in one sentence, then the objective, your methodology, your result, and your recommendation within that abstract. Then introduction gives you, that's where you are. There's also a science of writing introduction. There are people that say there must be that hook that but the one thing that you must ensure is that there must be a flow, a logical flow of everything you are writing. Then the theoretical framework, then data and descriptive statistics, you present that, the empirical framework, the result and discussion, concluding. And now in this regard, for most sciences, for most natural sciences, they have results separate and they have discussions separate. But for applied economics, we usually have these two together as you are presenting the results you discuss. But some papers now, they are also encouraging authors to do this separately. You report your results, then you now discuss your results based on with other existing sources and the rationale behind it. So references, then appendices, if you have appendix that you want to include. What are those things that can go into appendix? Appendix, like things that are important to your research, but they are not important to be in the table. So for instance, maybe you did some proofing or you did some estimation. The estimation, though, but you have presented the methodology and the results, but it will also be helpful for the reader to see how you derive those estimations. You can put it in appendix, which is allowed and to get published. So, in conclusion, I'm sure I was given 48 minutes, but I think I'm doing 30 minutes already. In conclusion, for you to do all these things, you need to be thoughtful about your research title and outline. You need to be, and there was no one size fits all. You need to, and always be creative and be willing to improve upon what you have done before. Be eager to to do things in a better way, and don't be an island that will say no. Always have conversation with your colleagues, most especially if you are still a PhD student. Your office, have a discussion with them. Then the social media platform, let's use it efficiently. Go on there. There are a lot of professors there. There are a lot of scholars there. They are there. You can read. Then, like I said, as for all those that we are just starting, we can do not copy paste, but we can use all those ones as an example and try to imitate the way they have structured their paper, the way they have written their title and so on. So, question and answer. Then, thank you so much for listening to my presentation. If you are on LinkedIn, you can scan my QR code. I will accept your request. If you're on Twitter, which is now X, you can follow me. I use these two more often for academic engagement and other social and political comments. Facebook is just once in a while. So you can continue to engage with me. Thank you so much for having me. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much. We pray my Allah to continue to increase your knowledge of His healing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful and well informative presentation. Thank you. At this junction, I think sorry, just a moment.
Assalamu alaikum. I think Sadiq's network is bad. Sadiq, are you online? Can't hear you.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I'm trying to connect. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Alekazeno. So now, I know we have tried to note some things down from the speakers. So, if you have a question, you can signify by raising up our hand. Then I'm going to tell you to unmute yourself so that you can ask. Or if you feel like you want to drop in the chat box, you can do that, and I'm going to read to the speaker so that they can give justice to the question. So we have from maybe like 30 minutes for question and answer. So I also have some questions, but I think I will allow the participants to go first. Then for you by John, if I for you by Gwen said I was unable to attend yesterday class. Okay, so you can please, do you have anybody with the questions? Okay, why? Okay, maybe I'm going to go first. Okay, so assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Dr. Toy, let me see how you first.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think my first question is going to you. So I want to ask that do you still have to like recheck again if you are using one of these things, maybe Zotero or Mendeley, to do our referencing? So like once you are done, do you still need to like check again, like to cross check, or most of the time it is still, I mean, like 95 or 90% accurate? So that's my first question. So my second question is on the I think on your slide 23, you talked about direct quote. That is there a way that we can use that one, or I don't know if you can maybe like a little bit that like why I'm asking is that if you do something at first, you're not going to raise anything plagiarism or nothing. So thank you. Okay. I also have another question for the second speaker, but you can answer them again.
Yeah. So for the for the efficiency of the referencing tools, in fact, I don't even know what to say about the efficiency because, but I can guarantee you that it works at least like 90% perfectly all the time. But you have to pay attention to some particular articles, even when you select the right referencing style. it's still like bring out a very bad result. So because I could remember, I think maybe last 2 days, I was trying to use some references. When I checked the result, I saw that it's including, because normally when you select a style, take for instance for a particular journal, it will like it doesn't require you putting the title of the research paper. But for this particular reference, it's including the title of this research paper in the references. So I need to like go back to the Zotero to check. Maybe I can try to see what's happening. Or sometimes you can try to synchronize it very well. Then you can reload. And also for some particular journals, maybe it's you might probably the name of the journal might not be appearing in the references. So you have to go back to your Zotero to see the details of this particular reference. Maybe the name of the journal is missing in that particular part that says publication journal. So you have to copy, maybe go to the website to copy that name of the journal, then put it there, refresh, then go back to your Word to refresh, and everything will be perfect. So I think so far those are like the problem that I've encountered. As regards the quotation, I think for science, I think it's not possible for you to just directly lift a text into an original research article. I think it's not possible for you to do that. However, it is possible when you are writing like a textbook. Some people write books about a particular research field. It's possible, people have like a different writing style. Maybe you just want to create like a joke. Some people write jokes in their books or something like that. But they want us to learn about a particular person, so they can directly lift a text, maybe like one sentence. So they just put it in quotation mark. So then you can do something like that. But for a research article, I think you shouldn't do something like that. Yeah. Everything should be in your own, especially in
Oh,
the science field.
all right. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Jazakumullah khairan. So, please, do you have anybody that wants to try to ask a question? You have the chance to go ahead now. And the key and it's question, so we can accept as much as possible questions for now before our speakers leave the okay, so while waiting for our participants to send questions, so my second question will be going to Dr. Rahim. Please, I noticed that you are using the question format for the some of your journals. If I would like to know, uh, like how do you to come? Like, can you explain more on how to use those types? Because like I found it more interesting as I'm looking from your paper. Like in terms of questions, like how can we structure it? Thank you, sir. Doctor,
Can
okay.
you repeat the question for me, please?
Okay, like I said, when you are showing some of your publication, your papers, like I
Yep.
noticed that some of the question format in your title. So I wanted to know, like, is there a specific way to structure, like, to come about those question formats, or how can we like okay use the question format, then can something come after the question, or it has to end with the question?
Okay, Jazakallah khairan for the question. If I hear you clearly, that's how to come about those questions, and if there is a question after answering it, or is that what you
No,
said?
no. If there's going to be like another word after the question, like after the question mark, like
Yeah,
for
yeah. So
example,
okay, yeah, I get it now. So like the examples I cited, okay, for instance, the where's this? Does access to basic services and productive assets influence agricultural households, dietary diversity, and food security? Question mark. Evidence from Nigeria. So it's just a way, a style of writing those things. Like I said, I could have just said that instead of using in form of question, I could have just said that, oh, effect of basic services and productive access asset on household diversity. But it's a common way of writing the topic in the title. So I try to make it more. I want to support the inclusiveness of people, of the readers. When you read that does this, you'll be willing to know that, oh, does this really influence it or not? It will kind of activate your to arouse your what's the English? I've forgotten now. I just remember your willingness to read more about the paper when you see in form of those questions. And trust me, when you go to all these databases and you search for and you see people like this in this question form, you will look further. You can't look at it and say you want to move away. So when you ask the question, it's a structure. Like I said, I copied it in a paper which I've been using. So when you have you can't leave the question hanging, except it depends anyway. Don't let me say, like I said, there is no rule of thumb that say that this is the best way to do it. So, but in this regard, for those applied economics paper that I've always been saying, it usually come after there's always evidence of something, which is will be the location of where the study takes place. Does MIRA encourage non-Muslim participants to join MIRA group? Evidence from Kenya. So Kenya will be the case study of MIRA, whether MIRA accepts non-Muslim to be part or not. This kind of example.
Thank you so much for that. And also another one, like you talked about maybe American Journal of Applied Agricultural Economy, that
Yeah.
they stated that they don't want any title that started with effect.
I cannot recollect which journal exactly, but I know it's one of those top rated journal. I've seen it before.
I'm not concerned about. I just want to ask, like, does that mean that we should stop or deviate from using that style of like effects or common dioxide and yoga or something like does that mean that it's not a good
No, 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 no. Don't let us get it wrong. You will see that I said beginning that the natural science, the way they write, is different from the way we write. In particular, for instance, this man said that titles conform with certain. No, no, no. I'm coming. That in natural science paper, they actually want you to put the results in the title for some natural science paper. But for economic paper, they are moving away from that style. So it's paper specific on how they want their title to look like. Then again, if you if you are a development economist, the number one paper in development economics world is Journal of Development Economics. If you go and check the acceptance rates, maybe 8%. And go and check the quality of what they are publishing. So me that I'm carrying effect of mosquito nets, usage of mosquito net on the or malaria prevalence in Nigeria, something like that. I would first think about it like, does this thing even suit where I'm going to? Because trust me, I'm playing with desk rejects. So before you submit, you can be ambitious, but don't be too ambitious that will take you beyond where you're supposed to be. So I hope I've been able to answer it well.
Very, very well done. So we have another question from Dr. Zainab, so you can unmute yourself.
Okay, my question is to for Akinola Ademuji. So I recall that you mentioned that to have a good paper or to write a good project, it's better to start from maybe your result or methodology because you have to at least know what you want to do and have your result before you now design the whole paper. So what are you going to do in a situation where, sometimes in Nigerian university, maybe first semester, go and write chapter one to three, or bring chapter one first, let me see, before you move to chapter two. That happens often in our university. How can we try to um manage that situation when we would prefer to maybe start with our methodology first, get our results, write it down before actually moving to maybe the introduction or literature review aspects? That's my question.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for the question. I think probably you missed it up. Research publication is completely different from your research thesis. Because for you to say you want to do research, obviously the first thing you will do is literature review, so which is very correct, as what we have in the Nigerian system and is what is obtainable everywhere. So the first thing for us to do is for you to really conduct literature review before you even go to the lab to perform your research. But when you are done with all the whole research and you want to publish your work, probably you probably your lecturer said, okay, let's publish our work or something like that. I think it's because, normally when you're a PhD student, you don't like it is not until you finish the whole PhD thesis that's when you start publishing. So you start the publishing as when you start to get a meaningful result or something like that. So majorly when you're doing your thesis, the first thing is to do the literature review and then start to proceed to your experiment. But when you're going to do the publication, the first thing for you to do is to write the result and discussion session, just like you heard the other speaker has already mentioned that you don't not go forward to decide the title or even the abstract or anything. It is based on the content that will really give you the idea that, okay, then I should try to tailor my introduction to to the content of my result majorly. So majorly write your result and discussion, then proceed to other section, probably the methodology or even the abstract or introduction or even writing the conclusion. But you really have to just pay attention to writing the result aspect. When you are very clear about it, then that will give you the idea that, okay, of course, you cannot just go to your thesis to copy all your literature review or your introduction to copy it for that particular journal or for that particular publication you are writing. No, you have to write a separate introduction for every publication you're having. So it has to be separate. So it must support the result you are presenting for your publication. Yeah. So I hope you understand the yeah.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All
Jazakallah
right,
khair.
thank you. So please, do you have any questions? So inshallah, we are going to share it's going to be today's session will be is being recorded and it's going to be shared on the YouTube page, inshallah. Before you call it today, I'm going to invite Dr. Zainab to give us a little like sort of response to appreciate our speakers, the participants, and other people. Assalamu alaikum, Dr.
Okay,
Zainab.
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan. Um, I think Mujida is here, but before we call Mujida to give the closing remark, I just want to appreciate all the people who assisted with organizing this 2-day boot camp, starting from Mujida. She's the chairman of the organizing committee, so we majorly planned most of this together. May Allah reward her abundantly. Then all the other volunteers, starting from another of my dear sister that helped with the design of all our flyers, I like that. I don't think she's here. she designed the flyers and everything that we need. Then my brother that emceed, Sadiq and um other sisters, other brothers that assisted, Sister Habiba, um, and all our speakers who every one of them are members of Muslims Research and Academy, and um, I called them to assist with this, and alhamdulillah, they honored my invitation. May Allah continue to honor them. May Allah continue to ease their affairs, those that are doing, trying to round up their PhD. Yes, may Allah make it easy. Um, those that are currently doing their PhD at the beginning, may Allah grant them ease, may Allah make it easy, may Allah make it easy for them to complete it in due time, and may Allah bless it for them after they are done. I would like to thank everybody that attended from yesterday, day one and day two. May Allah answer all your prayers, may Allah ease your affairs and make your research an easy one for you. Jazakallah khairan. Someone is asking, I'm supposed to drop our WhatsApp number here to join me. Yes, if you are interested in joining Mira, you can drop your WhatsApp number, and inshallah today or tomorrow I would add everyone to the group. Jazakallah khairan. Mujida, if you're there, you can give like a brief closing remark before we finish.
Sister Mujida.
We can't hear you, Mujida.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, please?
Yes. Wa alaikum salam. Oh,
Please let me know if you can hear me.
yes,
we can hear you loud and clear. We can't hear you again. Sister Mujida.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, we can hear you now. Maybe you are far from the speaker.
Please, can you hear me?
Hello, are you saying something now?
Keep talking, man.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, I already have been introduced by Zainab. What I just want to do is to give a vote of thanks and, of course, a closing remark. And I'll be doing that firstly by saying a very big jazakallah khairan to our esteemed instructors in persons of Dr. Abdulwahid Musa, Dr. Ademola Tohib Adeniji, and Dr. Rahim Aminu. We really, really appreciate your dedication, your insightful presentations, and willingness to answer the questions that have significantly enhanced our understanding of this topic. Although I'm in the legal field, so a lot of times all of these conversations are always around science, economics, and all of that. But I must say that I really learned a lot that I feel like will be somewhat applicable to law. I mean, research is research. There might be different styles, different techniques or anything, but there's still some general things that you need to learn as a researcher, which is what I must say that I have learned today. So we really do appreciate your time. From the very moment we sent the email asking that we'd like you to do this, your responses were very enthusiastic. Alhamdulillah, we're here today. You were here yesterday, you're here today. I pray that Allah rewards you. I pray that Allah increases you in knowledge. I pray that you continue to broaden this knowledge for you and make it beneficial for you for dunya wal akhirah. And I also want to say a very big thank you to the organizers. Yes, all of this, whether a team came together or not, somebody was the one who actually came up with this idea. And thankfully, with like-minded people, we're here organizing these programs that are not just beneficial to the organizers, but to a lot more people. And I hope that with time we'll be able to do more with a larger audience, inshallah, so as to achieve the initial objective. Bismillah. And finally, to the participants, we really appreciate. It's Sunday, probably should be sleeping. It was Saturday yesterday, a lot of OWAMBs were going on, but some persons stuck to it just because they knew the knowledge they'll be getting from this. So yes, we really appreciate you for registering and also attending. I hope subsequently when we have more events like this, we would have more turnout. So yes, thank you once again to everyone involved, and I wish us the very best in our academic pursuit. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, Dr. Amjida. Barakallahu fikum. Thank you. At this junction, I'm going to say, I'm going to call it brief, but we are still going to have a lot of program. As I discussed earlier, we used to have a monthly program like every last Sunday of the month. We used to have like a monthly discussion, and it used to be an insightful one. So if you have anybody like maybe one of your siblings, your brothers, your sisters, trying to tell them, I could try to reach out to the organizers if there's a way they can join the team, the